Ladies and gentlemen, it's currently early 2023 and chess is absolutely exploding. Maybe you've gotten into it recently, maybe one of your friends or family members has gotten into it recently, or maybe you're noticing that you've been around for a while, but everyone around you is getting into it recently. Well, the thing is, when millions of people flood into an activity, you're gonna get some bad actors, and in this video, I will be showing you a hilarious example of cheating in chess. Cheating in chess is absolutely possible. There are many videos on YouTube describing exactly how it's done. You will be caught, you will be banned, but on this YouTube channel, you will be exposed and farmed for content. In today's video, we found a cheater. I will be showing you that cheater and how they rose through the ranks and dominated in various fashions, but at the end, I will show you how that cheater still managed to lose a game of chess. How do you cheat at a game with a finite amount of answers, where everything is told to you like answers on a test, and you still manage to lose? Imagine getting told all the answers to a test in school, and you still get a 0. I mean, how's that possible? You gotta be a unique kind of idiot for that to happen. Well, that's the purpose of today's content. So, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So our cheater is playing this first game with the black pieces, and the game begins with a typical e4, e5, just your normal stuff here. This is like an Italian, 2 knights. Many people here try to go for the fried liver, but white is rated 800, so maybe white is not familiar with the fried liver. White castles, and black plays bishop to c5. Now, cheaters come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they take a consistent amount of time on every move. Sometimes they only cheat after the opening because they think that somehow that will help them not get caught. Sometimes they, cheat for 2 moves and then play a move on their own. You will be seeing in all of these examples when the cheating begins. Black and white have so far played completely normal stuff. White plays h3, black attacks the bishop on b3, and, on c4, and when the bishop comes back, plays this move and tries to just simply secure that bishop. White plays the move a4. Now, the reason this is a bad move, and black, aka playing with the computer, captures this immediately, is that you want to take toward the center. When the knight arrives on the d4 square looking to take the bishop, white actually wants a move like this to happen. That way, all of white's pawns stay together. They work together, and white's rook opens up. By playing like this, you see that the computer immediately captures because the pawns are split and the rook doesn't open up. So you took away from the center. So even watching cheater games, we can learn something. So that's the point, of the video. You're going to be learning. Now black plays the move c6, just a stabilizing move. There's a lot of good moves here for black, so none of them are particularly, captivating or exciting. Now, the interesting thing you'll notice is that after takes, to the untrained eye, it looks like knight takes b5 is simply a free pawn. Why does it look that way? Well, because after pawn takes knight, there is rook takes rook. Now, a human here might absolutely blunder that, but that is not the best move for white. It's not the best move for white because the computer with black has seen bishop takes h3! And the point is that now the queen defends the rook, so you do damage here to white's position, and then you go for pawn takes b5. Now, white is 800, so white didn't see that anyway, but this is what the computers do not show. All right, so h6, knight f3, and everything was all fine and good here, rook e8. And then over here, one retreating move by a human being. Just one move backwards. And here the cheater with black stepped on the gas and played d5, blowing up the center of the board, sliding out of danger. And after pawn takes, even though 3 different things can take back, the position blows up after e4. We have pawn takes e4, knight e4. We have bishop takes f2. The queen comes into d6. And black wins this game in such ridiculous fashion. Knight g3 check, king h2, knight f1, double check, king h1. And if you'd like to pause here and find this absolutely absurd checkmate in 2, you are more than welcome to do so. We have queen h2. This forces the knight to take. And now the king's escape square is covered, so knight g3 is a mate. A 1000 spotted, a queen sacrifice mate in the corner. Oh, and this is just the beginning, folks. This is just the beginning. There was all sorts of brilliant displays in this in this series of games. So in this game, our cheater has now gained some points, right? Their journey up the ranks continues. Black here already makes a mistake, so white is not going to play like this. A lot of newbies actually blunder their center pawn because they forget that it's not defended by anything. It's very dangerous to bring knights into the center like this when they can be attacked, because you give away tempo and space to your opponent. And as we see already, yeah, this is already just basically a completely lost position. It's considered +3 because white has all the space, and black is just simply not going to get an opportunity to retreat the knight home. Now, again, a beginner here might play the move d5 and just blunder a pawn, and now they're not even better anymore. A beginner might also just develop because they realize that they can't push. A beginner will probably not play the move h4, okay, which is using the remaining flank pawn to actually track this knight down. Now, the only way to save the knight here is to play the move e6. You have to free up a getaway square, and this position is still very lost because, well, I mean, black's pieces are getting shoved all the way backwards, and white has a massive and dominant space advantage. But black plays d6, okay? And, you know, sometimes when I show these games, people are, some of you might think, oh, this isn't cheating. I mean, well, black has blundered a knight. There's nothing here to insinuate. No, well, first of all, their account was banned, so they're a cheater. But just, you know, as much as we want to lie to ourselves and think that we play like this, look deep within yourself. About 70% of you watching this are 1200 and under. You don't play this well. Now, we have h5, we have pawn takes, and now we have this and this. And again, many people here would be tempted to simply take the free pawn. Maybe take the free pawn, and after taking the free pawn, go on a big exchange. Because, you know, you saw in a Gotham video that trading pieces when you're winning is good. Yes, this is perfectly reasonable. No. So this game ends in one of the most disgusting fashions I have ever seen. White plays d5. Okay, keeping the center closed, attacking the knight. The knight moves. Now again, in this position, many of us would simply be tempted to play knight takes pawn. That is a great move. However, you should always look for checks, just in case. And in this position, white has a check, which is queen a4. This is a very common queen fork, hitting a king and hitting a piece here, and there's just simply no way to protect them, both. So white goes back. Black goes back with a knight. We have this, and here white uncorks the most ridiculous computer move I think I've seen in the last month, okay? Now, any normal human here plays this. They play this, black goes here, maybe you play queen e4, you're +10, you win. You will not predict, probably in a million years, what white played here. You just can't, because you're a human. But you can try. In this position, white sacrificed the rook. Rook takes h7. Are you kidding me? Do you know what the idea of that move is? The idea of rook takes h7 is that after black plays rook takes h7, I check you, and now if you block with the bishop, I mate you on g7. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And if black plays king f7, then I will play knight e5 check and then take... I mean, come on. Rook takes h7? Rook takes h7, really? Well, the game ended with bishop d7, and bishop... Not even taking the free rook. Do you know why? Because bishop d3 is +24, and rook takes h8 is +19. So white plays bishop d3, and I mean, come on, what? What? Oh, it's going to make it even more sweeter when we watch this cheater go down. Now, the next game I have for you, our cheater has gone up all the way to about 1500, all right? In this game, our cheater played the Scandinavian defense, but he was playing in a way where he was not taking back right away. He was playing knight to f6 in a gambit style. Now, I have a course on this opening, and, you know, you got to know like 7 to 12 to 15 moves in some of these variations. I was actually shocked at how little people knew. People were playing c4 and trying to hang on to the pawn. And actually already on move 4, black has almost an advantage despite being a pawn down. Why? Because the way white played this in getting this pawn all the way here, black got assisted. Now black has more development. But even this one lazy pawn move blocked the bishop and also prevents white from getting any central space. You're not going to be able to play d4. If you try to play the move d4, black will play e5 and have very easy development and be able to kick your knight out. Now, a move like d3 looks like it prevents black from making any forward progress, which is exactly what white did, because white is a normal person, right, and a human. Black plays e4 anyway. Now white has a very, very unpleasant decision. Do you try to jump around with the knight, or do you lose the right to castle? A lot of humans hate losing the right to castle. You probably hate it too. You're like, oh my god, I can't do that. My king's in the center. It's not so bad, but remember, when you're playing against the computer with a king in the center, you're gonna lose. You're gonna just get vaporized, okay? So what does white do? White plays knight fd2 and now is losing in 7 moves. Losing in 7 moves because the pawn has been lost and you're not up a pawn anymore. You can't develop any pieces. Black immediately swarms with knight b4, knight c2, and this is mate. Like, that's just mate. I mean, black wins by checkmate in 10 moves against a 1500. What? I mean, this dude was on a rampage. He was this is mate. This is protecting this, and that's protecting that, and that's protecting that, and I mean, come on. I mean, this is a joke, right? But it's just, I mean, 1400s even, you know, this should give you some hope. Not to cheat in your games, but this should give you hope that even if, you know, you're only 800, 1400s are beatable, all right? They are beatable. You just got to catch them in something where they're unfamiliar. Now, I'm going to show you one final game where this person cheated, because to me, this was one of the longer games and probably one of the more impressive ones. So in this game, white locked the position, okay? White played like this and, you know, got a pretty decent position against the cheater. So the cheater was going to have to show some really ridiculous stockfish ideas to win this game. Oh, and they did. You are not ready for what you are about to see. G5. G5 seems like a move that the cheater just threw in to try to be like, well, I'm not cheating all the moves. Now we have bishop c6, which of course is not a great move, and queen h5, which is not a great move. The queen cannot do damage against a fully fortified setup of pieces. Black plays h6, and you would think that these pawns are just dumb, right? No. Bishop slides back to kick the queen out. Now we have knight e7, h4, and in this position, expert level maneuvering by black to completely lock down this side of the board. It looks like, you know, black is under pressure here. If you didn't see this, you would definitely not think black is better. Black is better if black plays the moves. Bishop to f5. Yep. Now g4. And now h5. Now that side of the board has been completely locked down, and if white continues to try to instigate here, black will simply play moves like rook to g8 and so on. And that's exactly what black does a little bit later. In the game, we have bishop g5. Now, here black might finish development like this. No, black plays the top computer move, taking advantage of this and the open b file. Queen to b8. Now, at this point, I saw one of the more ridiculous things in my life. White went here, attacking the rook, right? So what do you play? Your rook is hanging, right? You play, rook is under attack. Of course, any normal person here, I would imagine 99.99% of us would say rook to g8. Some of you, to be edgy, would play rook h7, rook h6, rook g8, right? In this position, the cheater played a4. a4. With the purpose of giving up the rook and taking and coming in on the queen side, and the rook and the pawn cannot, like, the rook is trapped or the pawn is going to promote. And if after a4 you take on a4, I play queen b. I mean, this is, a4 is, when I show you a4 and explain it, you can sit there and go, oh, that makes sense. Folks, you are liars if you think in a game after bishop f6, any of you will play a4. Maybe some of you watching are over 2,000. No. To white's credit, white does defend, and white goes on to have a very closed position and just be worse, okay? White is worse. White is not lost in this game completely, but white is worse, and it will take black a while to win the game. White tries to explode the center, but they are in no position to you know, do anything. But by the way, c takes d5. How many of us would take this pawn? I would take back. Are you crazy? Of course I would take back. How can you allow a central pawn in the middle of the board to just stand around? No, the top engine move after pawn takes d5 is to play queen to... That is... I mean, come on, how are you going to let that happen? Now the mistakes start coming in. Rook g6. b5, and knight takes d4, takes the pawn. A bunch of pawns are won now, rook b6, and yeah, unfortunately now the cheater is up 3 pawns and wins the queen immediately. And white plays on, you know, to white's credit, white doesn't immediately surrender. And yeah, black just methodical, surgical, allows themselves to get their queen pinned to the king, by the way. After rook f1, the top computer move here, the top engine move is to get yourself pinned to your own queen. I mean, that is so stupid. Like, none of you would play this because rook f3 and you're pinned, but it's the best move. And then you sacrifice, you get the rook down like this, white has nothing. So, white, by the way, you're not even taking the knight. That's just a free knight. Instead of that, white took the pawn and then played h4 and still didn't take the knight, and slowly, methodically, finally took the knight and went on to win. You know, again, by the way, right here. So you notice how here black is up like everything and doesn't give a mate via checks? Well, that's kind of a preview of what you're about to see in the next game, okay? This cheater seemed to like to finish games off on their own. They also threw in a move it here and there to make it seem like they weren't cheating the whole game. Well, that's what the cheater did in this game. Now, we are going to take the role of my subscriber, okay? My subscriber is playing with the white pieces. They don't know they're playing a cheater. So d5, pawn takes d5, and now, you know, the typical stuff, and we have the following position from the opening. Very stable. Okay, like I said, people don't always cheat in the opening. Knight f3. Now, any normal person here develops the bishop in castles. This person plays knight d7 because it's tied for top engine move. Castles. And now knight b6 attacks the bishop. My subscriber moves the bishop back, and black plays this with a very natural idea to play the move a4. So white plays a4 himself. Okay, now black plays bishop d6. So the computer plays catch up in the opening. It's like, okay, white is slightly better because white goes first, and also I played this random opening. So what my subscriber should have done here is develop this bishop by playing, you know, d4, taking some center space, looking for bishop g5, looking for rook e1. My subscriber played bishop b2. It's not the best move. Black is already doing very well because the only way to open up this bishop will be to push this pawn. But if you push that pawn, you block the other bishop. So that's why you needed to play d4 and do it the other way, right? Rook e1. Now, what do you think black should do here? Well, black has developed some pieces, right? So probably the next thing to do would be to play bishop d7. Like a normal person, just finish your development. In this position, the top recommended move by the computer for black is to undevelop the knight that you just... What? What? The idea is to put a pawn on b6 and the bishop here and the knight on c5. No human being... Well, I was going to say no human beings play like that. Some of you would undevelop the knight, but not because you realize it's the best move. It's because you're 600. I mean, you just put the knight there. It took you 2 moves to put the knight there. Why are you putting the knight back? But the computer doesn't care that if a move looks weird. Computer just knows the move is the best move. Okay, so bishop b2 leads to knight d7, and here my subscriber, instead of playing d4 or any of that, plays rook e3 with the intention of, you know, moving the knight and then going over and creating an attack. Now, what does black play? b6, because black's cheating. black doesn't know. Black doesn't know an attack is even coming, all right? So now we have rook d3, which again, I don't like. You shouldn't be playing like this. You shouldn't be putting the rook in front of the pawn. The pawn needs to be on d4. Black immediately punishes that with knight c5. Now, rook e3, many people here would simply grab the bishop, like take, bishop b7, and just have a slight advantage, okay? Bishop b7, and so on. No, not the cheater. The cheater plays bishop f4, attacking the rook, sending it back, and now bishop b7 is actually threatening to take this because white's king would be open. White moves this bishop out of the way, but here comes captures, and the point is that the king is open, so now queen h4. The cheater has achieved a completely winning position in about 20 moves. Now, you might ask yourself, but where's the plot twist, right? I watched the whole video, or maybe I skipped ahead. Where's the plot twist? The plot twist is as follows. Mate is essentially unavoidable. The only way to not get mated is to go here. If queen h2, it's to play rook e1 and basically just, it's impossible to defend that. My subscriber plays rook e1, and black, instead of taking the pawn on h2, finds the best move, which is preventing the king's escape. The king wants to run, So now black plays queen to h3. The only move. And now black threatens a very common checkmate. Many of you would have been tempted to play queen h2, but that allows this. So queen h3 prevents the escape and threatens a very common mate, which is to take this with the bishop and then mate on f2. What do I mean? This is a super common checkmate pattern. It goes like this: bishop takes h2, king h1, and now the bishop retreats to g3. So it hits this. After king to g1, we have check, here, and mate. That is the auxiliary idea of the move queen h4, is that you have this other mate. You have queen h2 mating ideas, but you also have bishop takes h2. So my subscriber, instead of resigning, goes out like a boss and plays bishop takes e6, because you never know, right? You never know. And in this position, the chess god smiled upon my subscriber. And the clouds opened up. And it was in this position that black decided that they were going to stop cheating. You see, I told you last game that black, in some of these games, would cheat to a point and then try to win the game on their own. Bishop takes c6 was very desperate. You should just take this, and now all of white's hopes are gone. Well, black tried to play the checkmate pattern. Black played bishop takes h2, king to h1, and in this position, went for bishop g3 check, hoping that white would play that exact sequence that I just showed you. Black must have been some sort of beginner player who understood some sort of, checkmating ideas. Unfortunately, what they had failed to realize when they turned off their computer is that this move, despite being able to be captured, actually attacks the queen. And my subscriber played bishop takes h3. And the cheater resigned. 2 moves later. But the cheater resigned. Imagine cheating for 20 moves. 20 moves! I mean, it was like 100 moves in this video. But the second that you take your eyes off the engine, you blunder a queen in a position where you have mate in 4. And literally, it's not a complicated mate in 4. You literally have to play pawn takes bishop. This is why you don't cheat, folks, because you look so stupid when you get exposed. I mean, my God. And the craziest part is, the cheater lost this game and then was banned. Like, imagine you go out. I mean, this is like, you don't even get banned for winning games. You get banned because your game was so embarrassing and you lost. Credit to my sub for sending in this game, because this was just too funny. They cheated and they still lost. I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here.